Going on, guys? Shadow bringing you guys another locals. This time it is at game night. It was short locals this week, so there'll only be 2 videos on it. So, and they're facing Anarchy again. Seems like we play every week. He's playing Buggy. He won dice roll, chose to go first, and ends up doing a Mr. 3 search where Mr. 3 can look at the top 4 cards. So we do see a misplay here. He searched top 5 on accident, but he's allowed to grab a cross guild type character card. So honestly, that search, all you saw, there was 3 peel-offs there, which shows that he will not be seeing it. But if he didn't search 5 cards, he would have seen at least one of those 3 peel-offs. So misplay on his part. It's the first time I've actually faced a Buggy, so wasn't sure myself. But he swings 5 with his leader. I do take it. Then I swing 5 with the Mr. 3. I counter-routed this with a 2K Maria. And then passes to me. I do have the Zoro, which I found off the Law search, which I'm going to use. But before that, I do swing the Law into the Mr. 3. Then play out the Zoro to Don -2. Then ramp with the Zoro. And then ramp 2 back with the leader. 1 active, 1 rested. And I think I'm just going to swing 8K at his leader. He did ask how many I have in hand. I did show him. So swinging 8 ends up taking the life and passing. Currently at 5 Don. If you don't know, Buggy's leader ability is an activate main. You may rest 5 Don, discard 1 card, and play up to 1 character with the cross guild type from your hand. So essentially playing out, you could potentially cheat out multiple bodies with this ability, because he does run the crocodile, which will allow him to play up to 1 cross guild or Baroque with the cost of 5 or less, which you do see here. Does the crocodile to the Daz Bones, which Daz Bones has, if your leader includes Baroque works, he gains 1,000 for every 2 events in the trash. But Buggy is just 4 Emperors and cross guild, so that does not matter. But on play, he does draw 2 and trash 1 from his hand. So not a terrible start. Already flooding the board. Did pitch 1 card for it, but got 2 bodies on the field. And here I was actually about to play out the 7 cost Sanchi to rest the Daz Bones, but I opted to not do that. I figured I'd better off getting rid of the crocodile. So you're going to see I'm going to tap 2 Don and play out Toy Soldier, which has an activate main ability to trash the character and give something -3, which I am going to do and give the croc -3. Then play out Top Knot, which Don -2, bottom deck a 4 cost, so the Toy Soldier got the croc down to a 4, and then Top Knot bottom decks it. Leader sees it, so ramps the 2 Don back from the Top Knot. And here I swing 5 to his leader with the Zoro, basically starting to put pressure on. Really looking to get cards from his hand, but if he takes a life, it's a win in my book as well. And I think he's going to opt to counter out this swing, which he does with another Mr. 5. And I swing with leader. Here he triggers out Peel-Off, which is the last Peel-Off in the deck, because he did bottom deck the other 3. I don't know it. I just know he bottom decked a lot of Peel-Offs from his reaction. And I play out the Nami. Nami's ability does not trigger, but I mainly do it just to ensure that I have a blocker in case he tries to swing big at the Zoro. The goal is to try to keep the Zoro to continue to put a lot of pressure on my opponent, so I want to ensure that it stays alive. But not only that, I do have a Gecko Moria in my hand, so no matter what, I do plan on blocking with it so that I could bring it back next turn with the Gecko. So he swings 5 at my life, and then to swing 7 with the Mr. 5. There I give him the Nami blocker. Again, the whole plan was to play that out, or to block with it, just because I did plan on doing the Gecko Moria this turn. And I believe now I'm at 9 Don, so of course the plan is the Gecko, bring back the Nami and the Law, and basically +2 in hand doing this combination. Because the Law will get me a free search from the top 4, and depending on what it is, whether it's a brick or not, I can pitch a card from my hand and get another 2 cards from the Nami ability. So I am going to grab 2. I end up finding the Nami, and I'm going to pitch the Nami for my other Nami ability, since now I am at 8 or more Dawn, which gets me 2 cards, one being the Rush Kaido and another 2k, so I at least get 1 extra K encounter from the ability. And no Dawn minus happened this turn, but I could at least start swinging for 5, double 5k again, just continue to poke, which you're going to see here. I swing 5 at his leader, and he's going to counter out and give me a 1k. And then I opt to attach the Dawn to my leader and swing at the Mr. 5, and I do this because if I swing at his leader, there's a possibility that he would have just took the card, and I opt to at least put pressure on the Mr. 5 to ensure that I get cards from his hand, because Buggy ability relies on discarding a card and playing out bodies, so the less of a hand size he has, the better it is for me. And now he's trying to figure out a way to get rid of the Gecko Moria, and a way to do it would either be Red Rock or using the 10-drop Buggy, which you're going to see here. He is going to do the 10-drop Buggy using his leader ability, since he is able to play any cross guild, even the 10-drop. So the 10-drop has an on-play, return up to one of your opponent's characters to the bottom of the deck, and then if you do not control 5 characters that cost 5 or more, return this character to the bottom of the deck. So plays out the Buggy, pitching the Red Rock, and then uses, or he bottom decks the Gecko off the Buggy, but then since he does not have a board full of 5 or more cost characters, it bottom decks itself. So he did it to remove it. Honestly, potentially just using the Red Rock to get rid of the Gecko Moria would have probably been the better choice, since all he did was swing with the rest of the bodies, but looks like he wanted to at least pressure and swing 7 across the board. You do see he pretty much clears the entire field, getting rid of the the Zoro, and I end up blocking with the Nami. But he passes over to me. I do play the Rush Kaido, popping the Inazuma, and then swinging at the Mr. 5, clearing his board, and then I'm going to swing 7 at his leader to start putting pressure on him back. This is going to take him down to 2 life, so we're down 2-2, equal grounds, and now I pass turn to him. Unfortunate that he was able to clear the entire board that turn, but it is what it is. That's the name of the game. And here he does Red Rock to get rid of my Kaido, so he's doing just as much board removal as I am currently. So he's got 4 Dawn left. Obviously he's unable to use his leader ability to flood the board, but he does a Mr. 3 search, and this is where we realize that he did search 5 cards instead of the 4, and potentially again could have had a peel off if he didn't misplay. But here I believe he's going to grab another Croc, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't played Buggy yet. Honestly, I think it'd be a very fun deck to try out. I know it's going to get way better once we get that promo where it's unable to attack, and anything with the cost of 3 and 4 cannot attack, which basically gives Doflamingo a very hard time. But ends up grabbing the Croc, swinging 8 at my leader. I end up taking it. Don't have that much counter in my hand. But I end up tapping 8, and playing out another Moria. Moria will do the Frankie and the Toy Soldier. I opt to do the Toy Soldier, one, because the Law is still on the field, hasn't been, removed. And if it sticks, I have another Top Knot in my hand. Well, you see, I just drew into another Top Knot, but I had removal in my hand to be able to get rid of the Croc if he did play it out, or the Mihawk. Specifically, the Mihawk is what I was aiming to try to get rid of. And then I swing 6 at his leader. I don't leave a Dawn up for Giant. I think I have Giant in my hand, but I don't do this because I have the Frankie to be able to get, the block in. But right here, this is where it's to show whether if he can't remove the Gecko this turn, I'm in a very good spot for myself. But he starts off with the Mr. 3 swinging at the toy-legged soldier, one-legged toy soldier. And honestly, I could have blocked with the Frankie, and potentially actually that would have been the better move. Because you're going to see here he does his leader ability to play the Mihawk, which will allow him to draw 2 cards and discard 1. And this is also the blocker of the deck. It's a 6/7. And he pitches his stage, which is now useless to him this late in the game. And then does his leader ability again, discarding 1 card, and will play out the Croc and play out 1 other body for free off the Croc, which is another Mr. 5. So he's going wide here. And pitches for his leader ability. And then here he decides to swing 5 at my leader. If I would have blocked with the Frankie, I could have potentially just not have to pitch a card, because he would have swung at the toy soldier again with his leader. So it's just something to think about right there. And then pretty much here, I have to clear board, because I cannot let him stick with this, because if not, next turn he will be able to pretty much go lethal and get me. I do have a lot of 2Ks in my hand, but still, why run the risk? I swing at that Mr. 3, and then I play out his Sanji to pop the Mr. 5, leaving him with just a Mihawk, Croc, and his leader. And here I swing 7 instead of 8, and I swing 7 just to make sure that the attack goes through, but I'm leaving 3 Don up to bluff that I have 3 Gum Gum Giants to kind of trip him out. He ends up taking that life, because if he would have blocked with the Mihawk and pitched a counter to keep it, I would have swung the Gecko Moray at the Mihawk, because he only had 2 cards in hand. So it would have definitely cleared Mihawk. So here, it's up to him. I have 6 cards in my hand. I left 3 Don up to basically signify that I have 3 Gum Gum Giants, which I believe I only have 1 Gum Gum Giant currently. I don't have 3 at all. But the bluff goes a long way to trick people's minds. But not only that, but pretty much all the cards in my hand are 2K counters, with the exception of Giant and the Top Knot. So I am stacked with counters. Not only that, I also have the blocker Frankie on the field. So he's going to start off with swinging 9 with the Crocodile. And you see here he goes, attaches 2, swings the 9. I end up doing the Gum Gum Giant, pitching Top Knot, and I believe I draw into a 1K counter Frankie and another Gum Gum Giant, so that's where I find my second Giant. So right there, the Frankie will signify the 10K, and leaves it up to him right here, and he's gonna attach 2 to the Mihawk and swing for 9. Here I show the camera in my hand, and it's all 2Ks with the 1 Giant, and he swings 9. Here I decide to take it because I know no matter what happens, I'm gonna be able to counter out, and I end up getting a Kaido, and he swings 11 with his leader, and I just pitch all my counters so he sees it, and we know it's game from there. If you guys like the content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought of the match, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.